Hello, I'm ABX2Cam, welcome back to another second channel video. Today I've got a travel vloggy style thing for you all, because I should be making main channel stuff, but I'm kind of procrastinating and making this instead. So yeah, the reason I'm making this is because if you don't know, I went to Ukraine about a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago now, Kiev and Chernobyl to be specific, and Ukraine is the furthest away place I've been to, it's the most different place I've been to, and it's technically the most poor place I've been to. It's the second poorest country in Europe, and there's a lot of interesting facts that come from the fact that it's just this very different place, and one of those is public transport, because I take public transport in all these different countries, and it's just so wildly different to anything anywhere else, and I figured as just a fun way to tell like how crazy different it is, and also as a pro tip in case any of you do go to Kiev, Ukraine, that I would make this video and talk about my experiences on public transport there. So hopefully you do all enjoy the video. Let's get straight into it. Let's start by saying that I only went on 3 different forms of public transport while I was there: a bus, a metro or the metro, and kind of like this weird private taxi bus thing. I'll get into that later. And all 3 of them were, 1, different to each other, but 2, just kind of different to like what you expect from any other part of Europe. Like even Slovakia, which is next door and had a bizarre system, it was just very, very different, and you gotta bear that in mind. So yeah, let's start by talking, because you know I take public transport all over the place, and I've noticed there's a lot of common trends, a lot of tiny differences, but in Kiev, Ukraine, at least all the stuff I took was just very, very different, because as we land down from the airport, go through all the crazy airport stuff, and actually get out of the airport, one of the first things I noticed is that most signs don't have English. I mean, even though this is an airport, in Ukraine, English just isn't a very common thing, so when I do find the sign that's like airport bus, I'm like, yeah, we found it, because I remember the number was like 322 or something, but beyond that, like I didn't actually know where the actual stop was. So we wait at the 322 airport stop, and we're just waiting for a bus. One does roll up like literally like seconds after we get there, and it's very convenient because it's meant to be like an every half an hour bus or something. But when the bus does show up, the driver immediately gets off instead of like asking tickets, moves luggage around the back, and like people are just getting on while he's not on there, and we're like, oh, I guess they're just trying to like go on for free, and then maybe they'll pay later or something. So when we tried to get on and just try the same, see what happens, the guys at the front just like, sorry, the bus is full. Maybe I assume they were being like good-mannered and not lying there. So we're like, okay, then we'll wait for the next bus. And conveniently enough, even though it's meant to be an every half an hour thing, there's another bus literally 2 minutes later. We try to get on that bus, and it's full too. So another 2 minutes later, a third bus comes along. And I guess what these buses were just doing is like all linking together for one big one. But bear in mind that when this is a key part. When I say bus, right, I don't actually mean like you might picture a London bus, or like really any European city bus. For some reason, at least for the buses outside the main city center in Kiev, they're all really just converted vans. Like they're just like picture like a Ford Transit or something with just an A4 piece of paper saying the number in the front on the windowsill, on the window shield. Sorry, it was really, really crazy and wacky. And just bear in mind, there's just a few of these. These are a little bit more converted, but they're still basically just vans. And yeah, we decided to just get on the last van while the driver's not there. Maybe the buses are free, because bear in mind, I actually was looking around translating everything with my phone, and as it turns out, nothing mentioned a price. So yeah, as he gets on and we start driving because our bus gets full, and he just drives off. And we're like, I guess it's free, or you buy tickets in advance, and we were bad people. Whatever works. And basically, that's actually how it just went. And he just drives on for 5 minutes down a motorway. Then suddenly, like 5 or 6 minutes into the journey, just pulls over to the side of a motorway and then asks for tickets. And this is the most bizarre system. Like again, almost every single other European country, either you buy at the driver or you validate a ticket at one of the things. This time, he stops you 6 minutes in, and he then he sells you tickets, which is fortunate that he actually would sell them to us. Otherwise, we'd be like, oh, well, I guess we're going to be on the side of a motorway in the middle of nowhere between an airport and a city. Also without internet. Yeah, that would suck. But yeah, fortunately, he just sells the tickets. 60 hryvnia, which is actually kind of steep by local prices, but it's still only like £1.20 or something. And yeah, that's that. So eventually we get to the metro station. We have to take a metro again. And the metro, I should have really looked into it, because I knew we'd be taking it, but I didn't at all. My friend's brother actually had used it a couple of times, so we had a little bit of an idea. But the metro kind of just blew my mind in one particular aspect only, and that aspect is price, because we get to the metro place where you buy the tickets to get past the barrier, and like we're gonna have to use a machine or something, and I see a big box that's like, oh, 20 hryvnia, which again, it's like 40p or something like that. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll just buy a ticket from the machine because it uses tokens or something. So we put in 20, again 40p, which is amazingly cheap. Bear in mind that a London Underground ticket costs £2.20. Oh no, that's what noise. Basically, yeah, £2.20 for any journey anywhere on the Underground. Something like something similar to that, like €2 for you know, in Austria or in Germany. It's going to cost something like that pretty much everywhere in Europe. It's a little bit more in Scandinavia, but basically, yeah, £2 is kind of the baseline. In for a metro pass in Kiev, it was actually, you put in the 20, so you put in 40p, and you get 5 tickets. So it was 8p a journey, which to me is just nuts. But I then looked it up later, so it's literally, oh wait. Okay, so if I was to put in a 5, again, this is worth just under 10 pence, I would get some change. That's nuts. And then you get some actual things. Yeah, super cheap. That's literally 27 journeys on the underground, on London Underground for every. No, 27 of these journeys for every 1 journey on the London system. Kind of nuts if you ask me. But yeah, basically it was super cheap, and that was just something that's nuts. But also they used a token system, so they just gave you like, let's save 5 of these. I did save a token to use for one of these videos, but I lost it. So yeah, they give you like 5 tokens, and you just slot a token in, and that's how it works. I just thought that was so cool. The fact that 1, it was like incredibly cheap. 2. They use tokens, and 3, bear in mind, even though it was incredibly cheap, it was for Haravner again, that actually has doubled like 3 times in the past 5 years. It used to be 0.5, so bear in mind, this is worth about 2 pence. You used to get 2 metro tickets for the price of this, which is the equivalent roughly of one of these. I don't even understand. It's so nuts and cheap and stuff, and that's just the Kiev metro system. So even though it was kind of bizarre, I think like everyone, whenever I stared at someone, they gave me a weird stare, but that's kind of to be expected. No, seriousness. But yeah, the actual experience itself was just like, oh yeah, it's underground trains and stuff. It was super deep underground. Like, I want to say it's the deepest metro in Europe. But yeah, that's just that. Nice place, nice stations and stuff. Metro, really good. I hear it's actually, by Western standards, it's like, actually stands up. Unlike the bus, and also the weird taxi bus thing, because basically in Kiev at least, there's a bunch of these weird things that I had read up about that are kind of like a cross between taxis or cabs and buses, where basically they go on specific routes sometimes, and that you can just stop whenever you want. So again, it's got a lot of elements of both. Basically, so, you know, on the last day, we're going home, we're waiting for the airport bus, we caught the metro train to get back to the station, and we were there for maybe 20-30 minutes, and 2 or 3 of these airport buses just drive past, don't even stop. I guess it was because they're full, because a lot of people were with us, and just, you know, they're sort of like, oh yeah, that's just natural. So the guys behind us are about to, you know, say like, do you want to just split a cab? Oh, well, he actually said that, but, you know, it's like, do you want to just do that for the next one doesn't arrive? And in the, you know, the next 3 minutes, one of these weird airport taxi buses arrive, and they're just like, you know, Boris Paul, get on the bus. The guy doesn't speak English too well, and I'm like, airport? No, aeroport or something. It's like, okay then, this is the bus. So bear in mind, it's meant to cost 60 for the regular bus. I don't know how much this costs. I didn't bother asking, because it's like, you know, the 150 like euros I converted was like 4,500. I had a lot of this currency around. It's just like, whatever it is, it's fine. Just get us to the airport, because we need to be there. And, you know, even like 100 isn't so bad. So I hand the guy 200 and just kind of, you know, see what will I get back. And he just takes it. He does this to everyone, because the way these taxi buses work is they give you your change when you're sat down to save time or something. And bear in mind, the best bit about this is, so I gave him 200. My friend, who's like a bit behind me, like he doesn't know where to go and sits somewhere else, gives him 100. So what he actually does, he starts driving. He's counting the change as he's driving, like handing it back to people just like this, and like everyone just, you know, slowly hand the change around the bus themselves. My friend gets back 140, I think it is, or something. Or no, he gets 160 back, and I get back nothing. So apparently my friend paid 40 and I paid 100. I don't know what the logic is. But that's life for everyone right there. So yeah, I used 3 forms of public transport in Kiev. It was all wacky and different, and I thought it was kind of cool. If you do ever go, just bear in mind, you can sit on the buses and you can pay later, apparently. Bear in mind, the metro's so amazingly cheap that you'd be kind of silly not to use it if you could. And also, bear in mind that, I guess, airport taxi things are weird. And I guess you just have to deal with that. Bring exact change so they can't screw you, I guess. That's the tip there. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. I'm actually going to get back to, like I said, getting some main channel work stuff done. Because I need to work out what I'm going to record tomorrow. And I usually just sit down for like an hour, but I've been kind of procrastinating doing that because I'm terrible. So yeah, I'll get back to you at some point in the coming weeks. I know the second channel's been a little bit more dead, but I'm going to Estonia and Finland this Sunday, so exciting times. Maybe a travel vlog or 2. Definitely a travel vlog or 2. Gonna go cross country skiing for the first time. Should be nice. But yeah, goodbye.